most kitchens, the cabinets are along the wall, and they terminate at a wall or an appliance opening like a stove or fridge. Many kitchens also have an island, which would exhibit edges all the way around. We simply took two cabinet bases and joined them together, making an 8-foot island to demonstrate the use of both types of brackets and how they can be used together. Because this particular cabinet was designed for a sink and we are not doing a sink, we decided to put an additional brace in the middle for stability. Pouring concrete on top of cabinets requires an installation of a base. 3/8 or 1/2-inch tile board or cement board are common and good choices. The one we chose is one step better, which is a fiber cement board. It's really more rigid than the other choices. When installing the boards, notice we are only securing the corners. This is due to the placement of the wedge brackets that you will see shortly. The drawer brackets are used in the drawer openings by attaching to the top cross member. The brackets will come with self-adhesive felt tabs that you should apply to the bracket to prevent possible marking where it touches the cabinet. Just place the bracket in the drawer opening, tight against the cross brace, and snug it firmly with the screw. The exact placement is not critical at this point since the system is very supportive. As a guideline, try to keep the spacing 3 feet or less. They are pretty simple to adjust as needed when you place the boards. Next up is a wedge type bracket. They are placed between the cement board and the cabinet top. They will be harder to put in the closer they are to a screw. That is why we only secured the corners in the beginning. More screws can be placed once the brackets are in. Once the bracket placement is taken care of, you now start placing your 1x3 boards. They should fit snugly in the bottom of the bracket. You want to be sure to get selected lumber, not standard lumber. Select specs are very tight and the boards are very straight. With this system, there's no need to make miter cuts on your boards. You can just do butt corners, which saves a lot of time. Once you are happy with the board placement, you can simply lock the boards into place. We tend to use 5/8-inch flathead wood screws. There's a screw hole for the bottom board and the backer board. Since we're going to do this as an island, we need to finish placing our board coping all the way around. Since nothing is standard length when it comes to cabinets, you're going to have times where you have boards that do not have a perfect length for the bracket placement. You might have to butt boards together. This is especially true when we're using lumber from one job to the next. A simple fix is just bind them together using a flat strap or quote mending strap. Because this wood coping is so rigid, there's no need to worry about sagging. On your corners, usually just add an additional 1.5-inch screw to lock them up. As you see, the system provides a very flexible way to just build a simple box form on top of your cabinet. This system is currently designed to use flexible linings to provide an interesting profile. We also chose to round off the corners instead of mitering them at a 45. You can just use small brads or finish nails to hold the liners in place. We opted to use some fiberglass grid for extra reinforcement. Rebar would also have been a good option. The Walt Tools TrueCast is the mix used here. It is designed for cast-in-place countertops with a long working time or a hard trowel finish. The goal was to create a mix that acts and finishes much like a regular concrete instead of a stickier engineered type consistency available with some other type of countertop mixes. Since our textured edge forms are a little shorter than the wood forms, we just cut a small screed board to fit perfectly inside the forms. We decided we would seed and float some glass in the top so that it could be exposed after it was cured. This will give a more interesting finish than just plain concrete. It also reduces the amount of finishing time by eliminating several stages of hard troweling and burnishing that would have been done otherwise. Approximately 7 pounds of aggregate was seeded and floated into this top. Disassembly is really just the opposite of setup. Start by removing all the screws. Once that is done, you can gently start loosening the backer pieces. This is tricky if you happen to overuse the caulk as we did here. The other delay was caused because of our rounded corners. Since the textured liners continued through multiple sides, they were more difficult to remove. As it was, this takedown took approximately 15 minutes. If this were only just a face cabinet up against the side wall, you expect to cut that down to 5 minutes. This is an efficient, repeatable process. So there you have it. What you have just seen is a basic demonstration of the quick kitchen countertop brackets available soon from Walt Tools. Using these brackets makes the setup for pouring a concrete countertop very straightforward. With minimal carpentry skills and some easily sourced local lumber, you can prepare and pour a kitchen in a day. To review, there are 2 types of brackets used in this system. The drawer bracket is a bracket designed to be attached to the top cross member of any drawer opening, holding itself in place with the screw plate. The other bracket is the wedge bracket, and that is placed where needed between the top of the cabinet and the base sheet. It is securely held in position only by the top pressure of that base. This example showed use of liners that were 2 1/4 inches tall, but the system really is adaptable to liners both shorter and taller, keeping your custom options open. This includes overhangs. For more information, reach out to Don at Walt Tools or visit walttools.com.